So we're going to look at a relational database, and this is the star schema for this database. So you can see we've got a facts table, which is a holds details about a sale. Each sale needs to know which employee sold it, which customer bought it, what was bought, and how many. So we've got a facts table there, and each fact has a dimension that can be brought in to kind of flesh out that detail. So the salesperson ID relates to the employee ID. And so if we were to look at this sales record, we could easily find out the first name and last name of the person who sold it. The same goes for the customer, the name and the price of the product, and the quantity. So we could therefore create an invoice from this. Having done that, assuming obviously there was some address information in the database. So we're going to use Python to interrogate this database and just to start to have a quick look at what we can do. So there are a number of different types of SQL being structured query language, and the structured query language is a language that's designed specifically to query a relational database. So as I said, we're going to use Python for this, and I've got a Colab notebook here opened. Now, Colab notebooks don't automatically have the SQL language installed, or the libraries installed for us to use them. And the database that we're going to use is a particular type of SQL database called a Mysql database, which is it's a very widely used type of database, fairly simple to set up. And reasonably easy to query. So before we do anything else, we need to install the libraries to be able to query that. So this is a Mysql Connector, which allows us to connect to a MySQL database. It's going to tell me the requirements already satisfied because I'd already run this. Yours will install if you haven't done it before. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at this database through the Python code that we can use to interrogate it. So a few things we need to do. So in order to use those libraries, the mysql.connector, we need to import them. So the first line of our file is going to be to import the connector to the SQL. The next thing we need to do is to set up a connection, which we're going to call MyDB. So that's our connections to this database. And we use a function called connect. And what we need to do is to run that function and telling connect the host, the port, the user, the password, and the name of the database. So this host could have a number of databases. Ours is called SalesDB. It's an online database, so I've gone online to get this information, and we can see where the host is situated at that URL there. Port 3306 will be the MySQL port. So most MySQL databases will be accessed through that port. We're a guest user with a password of relational, and we're interrogating a SalesDB. So that MyDB is the connection to the database. The second thing that we're going to do, because this is Python and because it's useful to have a Python program or a Python function that will just run the same thing over and over again. We're going to have a function that will write a query, or will run a query for us. So if we give it the SQL query, it will run that query and return the results. So the function is called execute query because that's what it's going to do, and it expects to be given an SQL query, which we'll deal with in a bit. It will use that database connection to create a cursor, and the cursor is the thing that executes the query. So once we've got the cursor, we can execute that query, and then I've just put this try and accept in. This is an error catching technique, so it will try to do the next command, which is to get all of the data from the cursor. So the cursor goes to the database, runs the query, and gets all the data based on that query. And fetch all is a function that you can use to get all of the data from the cursor. So the records that we've read from the database, we'll get them using fetch all. There are other ways to do it. You can fetch one, you can fetch first, fetch last. There are a number of different ways things that you can do, but we're going to fetch all for now. And then assuming everything was okay, we're going to return the records from this function. So this function will try to run that it will try run the query, and then it'll try to get the records from the query. If the query went wrong, then there will be an exception. So that basically the program will try to crash. So what the try thing does is it stops it from crashing, and it directs it to this second part, the except, which is basically there was an exception, there was a problem. And so if there was a problem with this, it will automatically go down to here and just print an error occurred and return nothing, because there's nothing to return. So as long as the query executed okay, it's going to fetch all to get the records and return those records. Otherwise, it's going to return none. So what we need to do now is to set up a query and run that query through the execute query function. So the way we're going to do that, let's just give our query a name first. So the first query we're going to do is to show tables. So it's a good idea to go and have a look. We've got a picture of the database, but it's good to check that the database, that we've got the right database by checking that it's got those 4 tables in it, and they're called those 4 names. So let's call our query tables, and then we'll assign that result of execute query. So we're running the function, and we want to put an SQL query in here. So query for showing tables is show tables. So in the brackets there, I'm just going to put in a query that I want it to run. So this is going to go off, having connected to the database, it's going to run that query, and whatever comes back is going to be assigned to the value tables, because it will be returned, and we can then print tables. So let's print tables. Let's just run that, and what we're hoping is that we're going to get 4 tables, as we have done, that are called customers, employees, product, and sales. Now, just so that we're making this a little bit easier to print, what we can see is we've got a list of tables there. So we could go through the list and print one table at a time. So instead of printing all of the tables, I'm going to put in a for loop to print each table in the list. So I'm going to print, what I'm going to say, for table in tables, for each table in my tables list, I'm going to print table. Instead of printing tables, I'm going to print each table this time. And what that will do is it will put them one per line. So there they are, but they're still not that useful because they're in brackets. So these are actually tuples, because quite often it could actually return 2 things or more things. It always returns it as a list that can't be changed. So you won't be able to change this list once you've got it. But if we want to actually access the names of those tables, then we need to get the first item out of that list, which has got index 0. So if I was now to print table 0 for each of those tables, I'm just going to get the names. So that's going to be useful later, because there are sometimes when you might want to put a variable, you might want to go through all the tables and maybe print their columns from each of the tables, or print the first row of each of the tables, that sort of thing, so that you're kind of able to interrogate or able to kind of start putting information together.